bum, 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 bum. Toot, toot, toot. There we go. Yay. All right, we did it. We did it. All right, let's get to it. Start with the ES here and then rock and roll. I am kind of surprised you're not falling down. You're just going sideways. You're really just going sideways, and that's good. I'm really surprised by this, that you're actually holding it. I thought for sure you'd come in more, but you're not. You're actually holding the line. So you just really went from overbought, looks like you're negating this, and it looks like you're going to go higher. So I was really surprised how you held yesterday. You know, whenever I'm waiting for like these breakouts or breakdowns and they don't happen, it's a really precarious position because like you can see the break there. So maybe we're just going to go sideways and just tear people apart, you know. But it sure looks to me like when we drop it right there. It sure looks to me that that's what we're going through. Chew. Pardon me. Yeah, I don't know that we really need. It's pretty perfect though, isn't it? What did we say? This is what I say that I think so interesting. I like the line. I like what you're saying and how this is going straight across here. I like it a lot, quite frankly. I like how you're holding. And you're holding a key level. So let's just go back and take a look. So you're holding this level right here. Oh, now I'm all itchy. So you see it? I think that's super, super interesting to me. Now, if we went to here and click on that, I think you have more of a range than anything. So you seem to be battling that pretty well. That's how I look at it. Now, if I go to the top of that, come on. You can see you tried to break out and you failed, and then that became resistance. So I think they're your big levels. And what I would be looking for is anything over a key. Like get over something like this. And then I think you're in great shape. That's what I think you really need to do. You need to get over something like that. And then when you do, I think you're the cat's pajamas. I think you're going to go back to 6,500. Now, what happens after that? I don't know. More people are concerned about what he does on that conference call. Or, well, it's not going to be a conference call for everybody. They'll see it on TV. But what he does at Jackson Hole, I think that's going to be absolutely huge. What do I think here? You're hitting these lower highs, but you're not breaking. And I think that's super important to get. I really do. There's so many names to go over too. I love a good blow up in the morning. This VKTX is going to be so much fun to trade. God, I love trading. You can see the stair step down. Like you don't really need me to tell you that, right? Like, I mean, you guys see that. Okay. So if we just kind of mark it off, I mean, you can even probably clone the sucker. Does it fit anywhere? It kind of does, doesn't it? So, I mean, that's really your lower end, which would take you right to here. So the lower end of that channel, really, by the time you got there, is down here, right? Okay. So I would watch that pretty closely. And that's really how I see it. But these channels are usually, they're usually bullish. I want this thing to hold. I don't feel like trading right now, but I might not have a choice. Mm. Mm. Oh, crap. You know what? I forgot to do something. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. I have a laundry service, and I go through clothes like no one, just from going to the gym and everything. And if I don't put them outside, they'll like bang on the door, which I don't like. So I had to put the bag out. I forgot completely about it. All right. Enough of my problems. I think it's super interesting how you're not cracking. You can almost see the change if you really look at it. Like, and this is, why I have issues, but like, you see how you're hitting these lower lows, and then you see how it slows hitting those lows. And then all of a sudden you hit like a higher low, not a real one, but just enough to like make you think about it a little bit. It's everything's so freaking nuanced, but it's there, man. It's like, it's there. Like you have a shot at breaking through this. And, he's a nightmare. So I don't know what he's going to say Friday. Who knows with him? Hopefully he doesn't show up with that iPad. If you see an iPad run, usually if he brings the iPad, it's a real problem. Let's go through this name because this is the name you should look at. This opens on fire. That thing's going to go. I mean, we're in it in the community. If you're trying to get into the community, please look for a invitation. I'm probably going to shut it down for all of September. So if you're really trying to get in with this batch that goes out on this wait list. And I'm going to make sure that everybody on the wait list actually gets an invite. But then for September's going to be crazy. And I speak to everybody that joins. So I give them the opportunity. I don't force them. So if you are trying to get in, just be aware of that. So I did this trade once already, and it went perfectly. And you're trying to hold in here, but I don't see anyone that's going to rush into this thing. These results were really bad. Nobody wants 12%, right? They want the dream pill. So, and we had a couple people actually that reached out to me that are in the community that lost a lot of weight off this thing. And like, I don't care how people lose it. I mean, if it's a health issue, I think it's fantastic. Lose the weight. I mean, people don't understand how bad it is for them. But anyway, I'm all for this stuff, then create healthy habits. But anyway, all right, that's enough. I think that you can chatter here. I really do. I think this could be way worse than people think it is. Like, I don't know who's going to buy it. Why? Because the revenue stream, you know what they did in revenue last quarter? Here, let's just look. 0. You know what they did the quarter before that? 0. How about the quarter before that? 0. They've got $7 in cash. Nobody's going to buy them. It's a wrap. Welcome to biotech. I love biotech. I love when it blows up. It's just so easy. Just all you have to do is wait for it to rally. You probably have a bunch of people that are short it. I don't know the short interest. I should probably pull that up. Let me pull that up for you guys because that's going to be important. Because if you have a ton of short interest, the people will close the short off the open. This WULF is down another 40 cents because the convert was so good. I'm actually long that. I married puts to it, but I'm down in the whole trade. I should probably tell you when I'm down in things too. Current short interest in VKTX is 28.7. 26.61% short. Oh, and they were getting short like a mofo into this. Yeah, this was the highest short ratio, except in August 31st. It was greater. I don't know what happened August 31st. Was there a reason for that? But that August 31st was like their big one. That was like their big short. Maybe that's when the first data came out. I don't know, but that was their largest short. Now this is second. You're almost at $1 billion. You're at 935. So they're going to cover, which will be excellent because you'll bounce. And then I will be victorious. But I mean, you're just going to free fall. You know, I mean, you'll just free fall. There's no reason for this thing not to fall apart. 18, whatever. It takes time, but these are so easy trades. You just have to wait for them to crack and then go from there. Why am I in a hole? All right. What else do we have here that I think is super important? This open, this trade, it's easily going to this $5. I mean, you're easily going to this level. So do what you want with that. But I think you're easily heading to, $5 at 485. A lot of volume today, like a lot already this morning, and see what happens with it. But what else is super interesting? This WULF is going to fall apart this morning because the convert size doubled. So they're going to put twice the amount of pressure on the name. I married puts to it, but I'll probably roll the puts down on something like this. It's usually what I'll do. I'll just make the profit off the puts and then, mark it to 9. Because the 9s are probably going to open. They'll open down, but they won't open down that much. I'll tell you where they'll open. They'll probably open at 50 cents. So I can lock in, like I rode the whole way down. I can lock in like 50 cents or more of profit on the 10s, probably way more. Probably way more. And then just buy the 9s. And, that way, if it bounces back up to 10, I don't lose the dollar on the puts that I hedged with. I lose 30 cents. And if not, I still have the same exact hedge. Getting out at 9, it's not going to matter. And then I just don't lose the premium that's built into the 10s, right? Because of the delta. Some of you guys that trade options probably got that. All right. Anyway, I thought NVO would rally a little bit here. I'll tell you what else is super interesting. And I don't think people are catching this yet. NVIDIA coming out with a new chip before earnings and probably going to explain how it's going to work and all the money they're going to make off of it. I think that's pretty fascinating. And it's not something I'd sleep on. I keep looking at this and thinking that we haven't had a huge breakout on earnings in over a year. I get the fact that you're up and everything else, but you have not had like a monster earnings quarter on this for some time. And I think you're due. PANW, you're clearly breaking out or trying to break out this morning, and your key level is going to be, right around there. So just watch that 89. That's exactly where you went to, just the first 5 minutes. And then you just kind of grinded down and bounced all around, but you never really broke. Get a couple upgrades today. Trying to think what else I have that's super interesting. There's some other stuff out there, but see what you guys have. See what you crazy kids want to talk about. What else? Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right, let's go. See some questions. What's up, Kev? Good morning from New York. Good morning from Miami. I might be up there in a couple of weeks. So, I mean, there's your level, right? I still have this sucker marked off, and I think that's a big level. I don't see it. I don't see my reason. But what's your catalyst? I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying like, what is my catalyst? You know, so, you know, what is my catalyst? It is going to be a great day. I don't get it, Kev. Like, what's the catalyst, bro? I'm not saying you're wrong. Like the first thing that I would look at here. So you always put the pre and the post in, right? So you turned, you see like this, like these kinds of names are like these low beta names. They're great with this system. And, you know, it's just a 3 and a 5 and an 8. That's all it is, man. It's nothing crazy. I just do it on a 15 so I can watch it in real time, but they're daily moving averages. And, you know, you're holding that 8 and you're flipping over. There's the laundry guy. Thank you. See what I'm talking about? Like you say it, you can actually just watch it. It's so perfect. So, I mean, you did flip like right back in here, like off that 226 level. You can see where the green took the top again. So, I mean, you know, that's really that's got to be your like drop dead, right? Like if you broke that level, you'd have a problem. But I don't know that you're going to, I don't know you're going to break that level. So, but what's my catalyst? Like, what's my catalyst to get me through here? I don't know. Maybe it's the dollar, Kev. Maybe the dollar drops again, right? The dollar's been a pig. So maybe the dollar drops. Dollar drops, you buy industrials. What are industrials doing? I won't go near it. I'd wait, man. What's up, Julian? Yeah, so the PLTR short, I don't really do valuation shorts. Like they don't really work for me. I did short this yesterday. I did well with it. And this is what I think people need to think about. Give me 1 second here. I see something. So when I look at something like this, like I shorted this, I made money. This was freaking brutal to short yesterday. Like there are days in the market that just suck. And that's the technical term. I don't know how else to say it. I try to be eloquent as much as I possibly can sometimes, but yesterday just sucked. And the reason for that, in my opinion, it always concerns me when I think something's going to happen and then it doesn't. So I'll show you what I did here. I watched this undercut right here, right? I'll show you my entire trade. So I shorted in here and then I break, I rally, I let it break again, but watch. See the RSI difference between here and how the RSI moved like that and how tight the RSI got. So it wasn't even nuanced. It was like, yo, in your face, we're not breaking. And so I closed it in here. But yesterday sucked. Like I made $1 and it was like the most painful dollar like ever, like or $1.50. It was just like brutal. It was like this core weave trade, like, and this is, you know, this is a really quick lesson, you know, exiting and entering, getting stopped down and re-entering, getting stopped down and re-entering. I do that kind of trading where I'll be like, I'm out, lost $1. I'm out, lost $1. So now if I want to go back in, I got a net 2 on that trade just to break even. You know, that works if it's going to fall apart, but when it's going to go, when they're going to go sideways, and then, you know, it's going to take 5 hours to drop like $1. I'm like, oh, for the love of God. Like, you know, okay, so I only lost $1 at that point. That kind of stuff makes me wonder, like, you know, is is this as weak as I think it is? And I'm just going to go off on a tangent here with this because I think it's more important about where your head is. And I don't think you're wrong with the coin and the names. And I'm still short coin, but you have to respect that 50, right? And you have to respect the complete lack of break. You have to respect the piercing patterns and the closes over certain levels. So that's why I always drop to like the 3, the 5, and the 8 and go, okay, what's going on? Well, red's on top. Red on top means what? Stop. Cool. Red's on the bottom. Okay. Yellow, caution. All right. Green was on top and we were rocking, right? So I think it's a cautionary tale there, but if we were going to break, and this is where I get thrown off, is if I go take a look at the NDX for a sec, and then you drop this, and you guys can all make this yourselves. You don't need me. You just go here and click on that bad boy. I'm going to start making short time tutorials, like really small 1-2 minute tutorials on all the stuff that TradingView can do. But I don't want to get off of this. I'm going to leave those on because it'll screw it up. But I keep looking at this break. This is actually under 48%. And let me just flip this real quick because it's going to bother me. And let me shrink this down here. All right, cool. So you're at 49. Okay, you're up a little bit. So I'm hitting highs and 50% of all names are under. It's not normal for that to happen. What usually happens with something like that is we get liberated, like we got liberated here, right? I love saying that. But like, and then you just kind of fell apart. And then you got to 2% of all stocks are above, which is a trough valuation. If you ever get there, just print it, right? Whenever you get to those levels, just print. It's like crazy. But it's very difficult to look at this and see a market that's going to go higher unless this gets its act together. And on the tech side. And that's kind of how I view it. That's why I'm starting to look at small caps and stuff like that. So I do agree with you that looking at these names like Coin or looking at like PLTR to short, but I don't know, man. I don't know that we're truly there, that we need to be doing that. And to me, that's really the rub. I'm not sure that that's what I need to be doing. So it's definitely of interest to me. But I don't know that it makes a lot of sense. I mean, maybe today's the day it gap fills, right? And then I'll be right behind you shorting it. But I don't know yet, man. Please hit the like button. It does help greatly with the algorithm. What's going on, Albino? DSWL. That's interesting. You know, yeah, that's super interesting. Because that makes you wonder, do these types of companies start rocking and rolling because of the tariffs? I don't know enough about it. I'd like to learn more about it. Because does something like this start really like ripping because of the tariffs? And they're like, you know what? Based upon the tariffs, we're going to go higher. And then you kind of look at this May area and you're like, okay, well, what really happened here? Because it wasn't the tariffs that did it, right? So I'd be really curious about that, man. What's up, Jacob? I'd be really curious about this. I'm going to drop that in there so I remember what happened this day. Because are there things that these companies are going to start buying more locally because they don't want to pay the tariffs or to lower the costs in some way? It's super interesting. You know, we think it's from China coming to us, but what if other places are looking at it in Europe and some other places? I don't know what they sell, man. I'm just talking. But that's really interesting. What's fascinating is that really true? Wow, that's really something. Yeah, it's been like that for a month. It's been like that for a while, huh? You can say it. All of August. Actually, for the past 30 days, hasn't it? I wonder how long that lasts. I don't know, man. I don't know. That seems like a real. You want to make that bet? You know, it almost means to me it almost means to me like, I bet you there's another way to look at that, right? Because I think it's 55 or 60% of it. I wonder if there's a way to look at it to where the percentage gets out of whack and then resets. So like if we looked at the average outperformance of that, so let's say it's like 25%, right? Which is crazy when you think about it. And this one's 7. $31. Well, where was the peak? 48, but that's during the crisis. Yeah, I mean, that could just really be beginning. It depends how ugly this gets. That's super interesting. I don't know that I take that side of the trade. I don't know that I would do that or not. Do I think UNH will hold? I do. I think it'll hold, and I don't really care one way or another. If it falls apart again, then it falls apart. Whatever. It's one trade, man. But I think that the fact that you're above the 55 and you're holding, yeah. And if you break the 55, just move on with your life. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. Good morning from Phoenix. Good morning from Miami. VKTX is just an absolute pig. Like, I mean, I'm sure it will bounce. I'm sure of it. I'm sure people will have they'll explain it away. But the bottom line is, and they're like, oh, it's a shot versus, it's a shot versus a pill. Man, just the shots will just come to your house, dude. Like, people get shots sent to their house all the time. So it's not a big deal. You want the thing that works. You don't want the thing that's like half-ass. So it is what it is. If you wanted the easy, you don't want the easy thing. You want the results thing, right? There's all kinds of stuff like that in history, like of medical stuff, where there was something that was easier to take. And let me pull this over. There we go. There was stuff that was easier to take, but they would just rather take the other thing because the other thing works. That's where I'm at with it. I don't know why you would do this. Like, if you talk to people that truly took like Ozempic and this stuff that were like severely overweight, and when you get that overweight, like, it screws with all your hormones. So it's really hard to lose weight. It's hard to sleep. So, sometimes for people that are like that and they want to lose the weight, we had a couple guys in the room that were, 70, 80 pounds overweight, and they took it, and now they can exercise and everything else. So I think it's awesome. But they want the result. They don't want that, oh, I'm 350 and I took the pill and now I'm 335. They want the shot and they go, no, now I look like Scott Disick or whatever. Now I'm super thin. But then you get that face, that weird face, right? Doesn't the day always get better once you hear the victory music? We got to thank Carlos for that. What you got, Julian? What are you doing to me here? You make me work. SNGX ABCL. SNGX. I don't know enough about it. I'd be talking out of my butt. No. I keep wrestling with this, man, Jack, and I keep wrestling with it because I keep looking at it and going, well, surely they're going to buy puts going into Jackson Hole. And then we have the most leaky Fed that we've ever had and the most leaky administration that we've ever had. I don't think we've ever had an administration that's this leaky. And we're just not seeing that. So I don't know, man. They know something. I do think biotechs look great. I mean, Pan crushed. I thought Pan did exceptionally well. I think they crushed. There's very little for me to say about it. I was actually long and I closed it going in. I only made $3. I closed it going into the quarter because I didn't want a nightmare. And it's a tough penny environment when I see environments like that. I couldn't even hedge it properly. So I just got out, took my money. It is what it is. What do you do now? You know, you hope they don't pull something where they just rug pull you. But let's look. So, I mean, you got to get through. If not, thank you. I appreciate that. I got 2 God bless yous this morning. APLD I did not do. It looks fantastic. Obviously, you can see your key level up there at 1692. But that looks fantastic. You had huge buyers yesterday. You had good news yesterday. Stock looks great. So what's up, Sammy? 0. Do you know why I'm not getting them delivered? Because I'm a man. That's why I'm not getting them delivered. Hold on 1 second. I will say this. Gotta make myself laugh. I'm really funny. If you look here, you are really basing. So there is something to it. I actually think that retail's bottomed is where my head is. I think retail overall has bottomed. And the apparel names are at these huge discounts to the market. And I don't think people are truly getting that. I would expect these jean sales are going to be crazy. You know, I really do. And then everyone's going to go, I don't know why we're not doing this. It's the same thing with like Abercrombie. Like these names are trading a lot of this stuff. If you go through it, this stuff is like at 8 or 9 times earnings. Like it's absolutely insane where this stuff is trading at when you go through it. So, yeah, I mean, I really do look at this stuff as, yeah, like even on the blow ups on earnings, they're getting bought pretty aggressively, don't you think? So we'll see, but I do like them. ZIM is ZIM, man. I actually think the guy that the CEO could, maybe he wants to tank the stock so they take his offer. You never know, man. You never know. I own it. I've owned it for a very long period of time. I own it because of the dividend, and the dividends never disappoint over the long term. This is on a watch list of mine. I don't like that I broke here. I don't like this at all, but it's definitely on a watch list of mine. What's up, Lynn? I'm short this. I think anyone that's trying to time this is out of their freaking mind. Like you're just one meeting away from having a really bad day. You are holding this area. I wouldn't be surprised to see ARK K out there buying. You can look at their buys. That wouldn't shock me at all. That wouldn't shock me at all to see that. So, we'll see, but we'll go from there. What else we got? BLX, Intel. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it anymore. I get it. Like everyone's excited because like Moshe-san invested in the company, but like $2 billion to him is like me buying a cup of coffee. So I think he's doing it to spark interest, but I'd probably really candidly fade this. And I did have a trade in it. I took it and I made money on the long side in Intel and it felt dirty, but money's money. I do think it's going to come in again. I don't think that's sustainable. I truly don't. I don't think that's sustainable. I do not think that AMD's NVIDIA's priced in good earnings. I think that is a widely huge misconception to a company that's trading at, 60% of its PEG ratio. So, you're at 0.6. I don't think it's factored in at all. I truly don't. And when they come out with the China figures, I think everyone's going to have and go from there. It's very difficult to think about Microsoft, who's a consumer of NVIDIA, and think that the trade is the same trade. I don't believe that it is. I'm not a fan. I did trade it a couple times. You're obviously weak this morning because NVIDIA's got another chip that's going to be like 10 times better than anything that they've ever made in their lives. So I don't know. People seem to like the stock, and we'll go from there. IWM, there is something here. I'll tell you, I always look at comparisons, and I don't have the time. John, did you tell me it was 8:50? Oh, you did. I don't have the time to do it. I got to go here. I got a bunch on, and candidly, I would look at the comparison. I would do a comparative analysis of IWM relative to the SPY. I think you bottomed there. So it's something I would look at. GEX once 160. What's up, Sammy? There you got GEX. I don't have GEX. Certainly fine. Don't make it creepy, Geoff. Don't be creepy. Just say hi. I'm glad you like it. I think UNH is going higher, bro. I really do. I'm not used to trading these low beta names. So it's just like, and if I don't get instant gratification, I get like all grumpy. But I think that's okay that they cut NVO in half. The only thing about this to me is I think when you finally close below the 55, it's going to be ugly. I just think that you have to, I'm just going to carry puts. And if they work over time, they work over time. I would go out, like the way that my head's working is to go out months and just realize any day, like that Ro Khan guy out in California now, he's investigating why they got rid of one of the guys that was finding the child predators on there. Like it's a whole thing now. So I don't know, man. You have guys on YouTube streaming them on there looking for people now. Like it's going to catch on. Like this is not going away. So this is like the key theme of the short. And I think that people are going to have a tough time with it. I do. Airplane was like the best movie in the world. I think Reddit's going to get rug pulled eventually. I think today might be your day. I'm long. I've been long since I think 191 or something. I haven't done anything with it. I trimmed once, actually. That's not true. I trimmed once. I'm way off, man. Like I'm way off the percent. Like on the percentage basis, I know what you're saying. Like you're looking at this kind of stuff, right? Like you're way off. Like anytime you're over 50% on the 55, or you guys use the 50, use what you're comfortable with. But anytime like you're up like that, yeah, you're just like one bad day away from coming in hard. I have no interest in Tesla. I don't think it's worth it. UPS is super interesting, don't you think? I think UPS is really interesting here. I think that's super interesting long time. That dude, I'm telling you, like they're all over that thing, and I think it's only going to get worse. I don't think Netflix is going down. You're over the 55. I think that if you think about like if you are in a hedge fund manager right now, what do you want? Consistent earnings, and I don't want to worry. Netflix, subscriber growth. I find that interesting, even with Spotify, that Spotify is like, from that earnings, you never really dropped, but I own this and I just don't do anything with it. But this thing's like very hard to trade. But if I was someone right now trying to figure out where to park capital, it would be in consistent businesses is the best way to say it, that have huge recurring revenues that I don't have to worry about and that are non-tariff related. Like I'm surprised that these names like Stryker or BSX aren't going higher. Like that kind of stuff makes so much sense to me because I think it's Medtronics is the hot one now, right? Well, apparently not. It's down 8 or 6. But anything that has a consistent basis where you don't really have to deal with the tariff issue, I think is really interesting. And then you have the conversion ratio of Netflix on a weaker dollar, which actually helps the earnings. It's the same with like bookings. So like bookings, 90% of their revenue is non-US based, right? So the dollar drops, so the conversion ratio is better. I think that they're the companies you're looking for, Expedia, that kind of stuff. I think that this kind of stuff will be home. Like anything that you're consistently using on the internet that is non-tariff related, that has consistent revenue. I like Netflix just because of the subscriber growth and the fact that every month it's, pay me. So, all right, I'm out. Make good choices.